is your development of wisdom coming along? This gets to go for those of you who are a lot younger than me as well, because wisdom is a process that develops over one's life. And what is it? What is wisdom? I I actually think that I have developed a lot of wisdom. I feel kind of solid in that. I feel like, yeah, that's life well done. I've come a long way. I hope that you all feel that way too in relationship to where you are in your life right now. So yeah, okay, great. And but what is it? Where does that come from? And how many times is it going to be challenged? Over and over and over again. So these are my thoughts. My thoughts are that one of the most important aspects of developing wisdom for all of us, it's an ongoing process, you don't arrive somewhere, but the cultivation of wisdom has a lot to do with perspective. It has a lot to do with recognizing that we, in our own personal, are not the center of the universe, right? And that we, in our own personal, are frankly, important to ourselves and to our loved ones. But, in the big picture, it's like, there's a big picture. And then lately, the big picture is so freaking challenged. The big picture of the world is insane. We know that. And yet we're drawn by what we can call spiritual practice. We're drawn to, even with that, to keep going deeper. So the subject of resistance comes up. How much do we resist what we actually see? And how clearly can we actually genuinely not resist it without being drawn into the chaos? And then, in terms of wisdom, what do? We figure out that, there's chaos, and I actually don't have to be drawn into it. And getting more and more angry isn't going to change anything out there, but actually acting with integrity at every minute might. Because the inner world of all of us, not just we the good people, what we think, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys, whoever they are. The inner world of all of us on the planet actually matches the outer world. So we need to take responsibility. We who consider ourselves to be good, calm, loving, whatever it is however we describe ourselves, need to take, in my humble opinion, need to take responsibility and recognize the ways that we too are acting in certain ways that create this chaos. How did we do that? Well, that I leave up to you. You can think about that. You can feel for that inside of your own body. What do you feel? And here's where I think we need to go. How honest can you be about who you are? That's my question. How honest can you be? Without Self-recrimination. I know, yeah, I'm not who I want myself to be. Yes, you are. You're good. You know, at the core, there's so much. You're awesome. I happen to know you well. You're awesome. And yet, we all carry this stuff inside of us. So, how honest can we be about the full range of our humanity, which is just as good and just as awful as anybody else's? And the perspective becomes, what do you pay most attention to? And how do you act within that framework? Who are we in this? It's the same age-old question. So I'll tell you, there are just a few of you here, and you know, this is easy for me to tell you, but earlier this year, my daughter got a a cancer diagnosis, which like really flipped me out because it was a serious cancer. She's probably going to be okay, but it's only a probably, you know, the chances, right? And then a few days ago, I got a cancer diagnosis, which again was like, what? And yet, that's life, babe. You live, you let go, you live, you let go, you go on. Very likely I'm going to be here teaching these classes and being with you for a very long time. My hematologist told me that this particular thing that I have, he said, if you're going to get something, this is the one to get. Right? It's like, oh, well, then you get it. Okay, go ahead, you. You know, and he's as young as my children, so he's not getting anything. So the honesty that I'm talking about is not the honesty that makes one say, it doesn't go an inch in. The honesty goes all the way. Who am I in this? Who am I actually? So as a teacher and as a leader of people, who I know you all are in your own life, how willing are you to be totally yourself and who you are without fear that someone's going to think something less of you? That's one more short little thing. I wrote a post on my Facebook the other day which said basically, what the heck is this thing with no regrets? Who has no regrets? Why does everyone say, I have no regrets, right? And it did spark, and I list some of my regrets, which are, you know, I got a lot of regrets. But the question is, what do you do with them? You know, of course you have regrets. Of course you have regrets. And what do you do with them? So this is actually fun. The Facebook post is fun because there are many, many comments of people talking about how regrets are terrible, you shouldn't have them, or, yeah, have your regrets. One old friend of ours at the yoga center, Rolf, you'll remember him, Brenna, nobody else. You remember him too, Sarah. Rolf wrote that his, maybe Lynn, you might, he wrote that his regrets are sacred. And I thought that is such a beautiful, because they are sacred. How the heck are we going to continue to examine ourselves if we don't own the stuff we did that we don't like, not just 20 years ago, but yesterday, right? It's this constant relationality. So I don't know why I'm telling you any of this, actually, but I did want to say this morning, as we come into 2026, with the person my husband will only call asshole as the President of the United States. We don't say his name. Okay, it's that bad? Who are we in that, and what are we going to do?